In the beginning of the drama, we see a girl entering the school. She is wearing designer brand clothes from head to toe. As soon as she arrives, many classmates start looking at her. It turns out she belongs to a rich family and gets a lot of pocket money every day. She has millions of followers on social media, and many girls copy her daily outfit. And this is our main female lead, whose name is Hwarang. Hwarang enters the classroom. Her classmates smile and welcome her, but she replies in a cold and distant way. She notices a girl sitting at her desk. That girl immediately realizes her mistake and gets up to leave, but Hwarang stops her. The girl cleans the desk unwillingly and walks away. Deep inside, that girl was jealous of Hwarang. Out of anger, she starts spreading false rumors about her. Although Hwarang heard everything, she decided to ignore it. Then, through a fan's private message, Hwarang finds out that someone is using her photos to run a fake account on social media, which already has many followers. Coincidentally, that same jealous girl was showing off to her classmates that she made a handsome boyfriend for herself using Hwarang's photo. But soon angry messages start coming to her phone from fans. Actually, Hwarang had just made it clear in front of everyone that the account was fake and not hers. At that moment, Hwarang passes by. The jealous girl gets angry, stops her, and asks why she exposed her like that. Hwarang says a few words on behalf of her fans and tries to leave, but the girl grabs her hand in anger. Hwarang's phone falls down and breaks. This time, Hwarang truly gets angry. She picks up the other girl's phone and without hesitation breaks it too. Then she calmly lifts her own phone and walks away without turning back. Meanwhile, Hwarang is still angry. In another part of the campus, we meet the male lead, Yoontaek. He is also very popular and is the head of the school's broadcasting club. Yoontaek is a perfectionist. He wants everything to be flawless and of the highest standard. Because of his handsome looks and serious personality, he has caught the attention of many girls. Some girls even tried to join the club just to get close to him. Some time ago, one female anchor from the club confessed her feelings to Yoontaek, but he coldly rejected her and immediately removed her from the club. Now that girl name is Seo Han and she is out of the club, they need a replacement. At that time, one student suggests Hwarang. Mainly because of her massive online following and strong presence, she seems like a perfect candidate. So Yoontaek decides to meet her himself and invites her to join the broadcasting team. In the next scene, a girl is sleeping on the bus. A boy slowly comes near and closes the window. The girl suddenly wakes up and leans back in fear. Their eyes meet for a few moments. It turns out that the boy, Yoontaek, had called her many times but never got a reply, so he closed the window himself. After some time, Hwarang opens the window again, and there is clear tension between them. The day before, Yoontaek had asked Hwarang to join the club, but she clearly refused. Yoontaek got annoyed by her behavior and made fun of her in a sarcastic way. But Hwarang is not the type to back down. She replied with sharp words. Their meeting ended on a bad note. The next day, Hwarang sits under a tree and listens to the school broadcast. She hears a story that sounds just like something from her past. When she goes for the interview, Yoontaek remembers that she had refused to join before and tells her the interviews are already finished. But another club member quickly corrects him, saying there's still time. Unwillingly, Yoontaek starts the interview, and because Hwarang shows great skills, she easily passes. After the interview, Hwarang asks who sent the story she heard. Yoontaek says the submission was anonymous and must stay secret. On her first official day in the club, Hwarang arrives late. For Yoontaek, being on time is very important, and he doesn't accept lateness. He immediately tells her to leave the club. But Hwarang, wanting to find out the truth behind the broadcast story, swallows her pride and sincerely apologizes, promising not to be late again. Yoontaek allows her to stay but gives her cleaning work as punishment. Nearby, one classmate wonders why Hwarang chose the broadcasting club if she has to clean, when she could easily join any other club. Hwarang, who never cleaned before, starts mopping while listening to music and drawing circles on the floor. Just then, Yoontaek comes in and Hwarang accidentally spills water on his shoes. She then signs the resignation form. That evening, while going home, Hwarang meets her old best friend So-hyun. So-hyun says she knows who sent that broadcast story, but Hwarang coldly tells her to mind her own business and act like they don't know each other. Once the closest friends, now they act like strangers. Hwarang stays determined to find out the truth behind the story that was aired in the school broadcast. She tells Yoontaek that she wants to study how the club works and asks asks for the login credential. Yoontaek says he will decide after seeing her performance. To gain his trust, Hwarang starts coming early every day and begins collecting information. Seeing her hard work in the school broadcasting room, Yoontaek slowly starts to develop soft feelings for her. Later, another broadcast is aired, again based on Hwarang's story. This time, she becomes very angry. She rushes into the broadcasting room and stops the broadcast loudly in the middle. Everyone is shocked by her sudden action. Even Yoontaek is surprised and later gets scolded by the teacher. Hwarang confronted So-hyun. "Did you send that story?" she asked. So-hyun calmly replied, "First, apologize. Because of you, everyone in the department is being punished." Hwarang nodded and apologized to the other student. Then she asks So-hyun, "Now will you tell me?" But just then Yoontaek entered the room and stopped them. The anger from being scolded by the teacher was still inside him, and he shouted at Hwarang using some harsh words. The next day, feeling guilty for her behavior, Hwarang went to apologize to Yoontaek, but he was still angry and refused to forgive her. What started as an apology soon turned into another argument. Both again parted on bad terms. That evening, Yoontaek sat alone thinking about their fight. As he thought, he started feeling regret. Curious about Hwarang, he searched her online and found that her social media was filled with hurtful and sarcastic comments. For the first time, Yoontaek understood that maybe Hwarang's cold personality wasn't arrogance. It was her way to protect herself. That night, Hwarang was walking home alone when she heard soft footsteps behind her. It felt like someone was following her. Scared, she started walking faster. "I felt afraid," she said. When she turned back, Yoontaek was standing there. "I was also going home," he said awkwardly. It turned out they lived in the same apartment building. Even though they had fought recently, now they were walking home together. Both felt a bit awkward. Yoontaek walked slowly, wanting to stay behind, but Hwarang told him to walk ahead. As they reached the building, Yoontaek suddenly asked, "Don't you get tired living like this every day?" Hwarang got surprised, thinking he wanted to argue again. But Yoontaek said, "All the things that happened between us, did they hurt you?" Hwarang gave a soft smile and said she didn't care. She had heard so many rumors about herself that it didn't matter anymore. Over time, that simple moment softened the tension between them, and they reconciled as if nothing had happened. Then Hwarang noticed chewing gum stuck under her shoe. Yoontaek stepped forward to give her tissues, but playful Hwarang scraped it off using his vinyl record and accidentally broke it. Next day, Hwarang reached the broadcasting room as usual. Yoontaek gave her the club's submission account. She logged in and started searching for the original sender of the story, but she couldn't find any clue, name, or contact info. Then she noticed that the account was connected to someone's friend list. Hwarang began to suspect So-hyun, but a part of her still didn't want to believe it. After all, they were once inseparable. They first met in middle school. Both were late to class and immediately bonded. Over time, they became friends who could never be separated. As soon as they parted, Yoontaek got a message from his father, but didn't want to go home right away. Instead, he invited Hwarang to eat together. They grabbed some snacks and sat by the roadside, talking casually under the night sky. Next morning, Hwarang overslept and missed school. Sitting by the roadside and checking her phone, she received a new message from the story submitter. The shock was huge. This anonymous sender even knew her real identity. She remembered that So-hyun once looked at her phone screen. Could she have seen something? Just then, So-hyun passed by. When she saw Hwarang, she tried to walk away, but Hwarang called her. "It was you, right?" "What do you mean?" So-hyun tried to respond. "Don't act dumb," Hwarang said as she stepped closer. "It was you, right?" Old memories started flashing back. The girl was about to fall when suddenly a hand caught her. That girl was young Hwarang, and from that moment, they became inseparable. They kept matching chains as a symbol of their bond. But one day, some school bullies started targeting Hwarang. After that, she changed. Hwarang distanced herself from So-hyun, becoming cold and withdrawn. Confused and hurt, So-hyun finally confronted her, and they completely ended their friendship. Now in the present, So-hyun finds herself thinking about those days. She looks confused and denies knowing anything. Frustrated by the accusation, she angrily walks away. Later, So-hyun tells Yoontaek that because of their strained past, she doesn't want to do broadcasting duties with Hwarang. So Yoontaek decides to intervene himself and starts training Hwarang on the broadcasting equipment, firmly insisting that she must memorize everything and there will be tests. When Hwarang hears about the tests, she starts thinking about quitting. But then suddenly, Yoontaek comes close. Her heart skips a beat. He asks where? Hwarang couldn't understand a single word. She was confused. Later, tired from studying, Hwarang fell asleep in the broadcast broadcasting room. When Yoon-taek came and saw her sleeping under the bright sunlight, he quietly took off his school jacket and hung it near the window to make some shade for her. When Hwarang woke up, she saw what he had done. As soon as Yoon-taek turned around, Hwarang quickly pretended that she had just woken up. He gave her the practice exam. After many days of effort, Hwarang even surprised herself. She got a perfect score. That weekend, a friend invited her for dinner. In the group photo, she noticed that So-hyun would also be there. Remembering their past argument, she felt strange, but still decided to go. Meanwhile, at dinner, her friend explained to others that Hwarang's parents are always busy and she often eats alone. But the truth was, he had actually called Hwarang to eat sushi with him, pretending it was just a craving because when you like someone, any reason to see them feels enough. While eating, Yoon-taek noticed a light lipstick mark on Hwarang's hand. Without saying a word, he gently held her hand and wiped it off with a tissue. Hwarang's heart skipped again. Then Yoon-taek said, "I always doubted you'd join the broadcast team just for the show. But if you're going through something, tell me." "Okay." Her heartbeat grew faster. Hwarang immediately turned and ran after Yoon-taek. She grabbed his arm but couldn't say anything, maybe because deep down, everyone wants to look perfect in front of the person closest to them. Later, in the student council meeting, someone openly made fun of Hwarang, but she didn't back off. She replied with full confidence and silenced the entire room. Determined to prove herself, she volunteered to host one of the main events for the school anniversary celebration. After the meeting, Yoon-taek suggested doing a live broadcast during lunch to practice her hosting skill. In class, that mysterious person messaged Hwarang again. This time, they mocked her for deciding to host, saying she just wanted attention. The comment hurt her deeply. How did the sender know those details? Hwarang thought maybe that person was also in the meeting. She asked directly, but he tried to act innocent. When Hwarang pressed harder, his response became visibly hesitant. That afternoon, Hwarang went live for the first time. Near the end of the broadcast, she threw the script aside and began speaking from her heart. Her honest and emotional words surprised both Yoon-taek and So-hyun, but deeply touched her classmate. There was applause. Even teachers praised her. Some said they wanted to share their own stories too. After school, Yoon-taek invited Hwarang to the broadcasting room to test the sound equipment. It was her first time using a soundboard, and she was fascinated, playing with it like a child with a new toy. Then she asked, "Why didn't you stop me from going off script today?" Yoon-taek, who always sticks to plans, simply replied, "Actually, I agreed with everything you said." After testing, he told her, "Thank you for being you." It sounded like a simple thank you, but his tone carried warmth, almost like a confession. Before leaving, Yoon-taek mentioned he had prepared a birthday gift for her. The gift was in her backpack. When Hwarang opened it, she found a bottle of cologne, but the scent triggered a painful memory. Last birthday, someone had bullied her, sprayed her with cologne, and mocked her in front of everyone. Her breathing grew shallow, panic hit, and she ran to the window for air but couldn't open it. Desperately, she pulled harder. Just as she felt she might suffocate, the window opened, and she heard Yoon-taek's voice calling her name. That moment, she began to calm down. One day, while organizing files, Yoon-taek accidentally found a singing video of Hwarang. Seeing her being silly yet cute in the video, he couldn't help but smile. Next morning, as the school anniversary approached, Yoon-taek assigned tasks to all students. A classmate suggested Hwarang's name, bringing them even closer. After rehearsal, the group discussed the day's progress, but old complaints surfaced again, and another argument began. They had to reshoot the lost footage on the rooftop. Hwarang decided to go with him. Seeing that she wasn't dressed warmly for the cold night, he felt concerned. Between taking photos, listening to music, talking, and enjoying the breeze, maybe happiness was really that simple. Later, as they walked together, Yoon-taek suddenly said, "If I stay with you, I can stay silent. But you won't believe it." Hwarang blinked, confused. "What do you mean?" he said, "Like you, white fox." The sudden confession completely shocked her. Next day, Yoon-taek was assigning more tasks when Hwarang came in, but he spoke with a serious expression and firm tone. Was he the same person who confessed yesterday? At lunch, Yoon-taek showed his caring side. Hwarang couldn't hold it anymore and asked, "Is liking someone supposed to be exciting?" Yoon-taek calmly replied, liking someone means accepting their flaws too. That's when Hwarang understood. Yoon-taek was the one who always separated work from personal feeling. At night, the live broadcast was about to begin. Hwarang, who had become very popular online, stepped on stage, and the audience cheered loudly. The live began. Viewers lifted their phones and watched with excitement. Hwarang read the audience's messages, shared her thoughts on each story, and her honest reactions earned her praise. During the interactive segment, she started replying to live comments. Suddenly, a question appeared on the screen. Do you have someone special? Then a shocking accusation began spreading online. Hwarang was blamed for bullying a classmate in the past. Her heart tightened. She tried to stand up, but as she stepped off the stage, her knees gave out. Instead of rushing to help, the audience froze, holding their phones up. Just then, Yoon-taek ran in. He jumped on the stage, pulled down the wooden divider to shield Hwarang from everyone's eye, and held her arm to lead her out as quickly as possible. Hwarang whispered, "I want to be alone." Finally, he let go of her hand. On her way home, Hwarang kept scrolling through online comments. Every moment of humiliation replayed in her mind. She cried silently. Her friends, after hearing the rumors, couldn't bear it anymore and stormed out in anger. Someone's pen fell on the floor. Then Hwarang appeared. Without looking at anyone or saying a word, she walked straight to the broadcasting room. Her voice echoed through the whole school. Hwarang was broadcasting again. Her friends exchanged quiet, relieved look. But nearby, someone whispered, "She still has no shame." After the broadcast, students gathered as Yoon-taek assigned cleanup tasks. When Hwarang said, "I'll clean the auditorium alone," he paused for a moment, then quietly nodded. But Hwarang arrived late because she had overslept. She had gone to meet an old middle school classmate, the same one who once bullied her. That classmate hadn't come to apologize, but because his face had appeared in the leaked photo, and now he was caught in the drama. Hwarang asked, "Are you still afraid to tell the truth?" But his silence wasn't guilt. He simply didn't want the world to see how broken she once was. Later that day, Yoon-taek was carrying some equipment when So-hyun stopped him. "Do you really think it's okay to let Hwarang clean the auditorium alone?" That simple question made him stop. When Hwarang arrived, two female classmates were waiting. They greeted her, and then burst into tears. Yoon-taek didn't go near. He knew she wouldn't want anyone to see her like that. That night, Yoon-taek called her, not for anything special, just to be there. But he couldn't find the right word. To ease the tension, he invited her to watch a movie, and Hwarang happily accepted. They met in the broadcasting room and started watching. During the movie, Hwarang commented about the female lead. If she never revealed her secret, maybe she wouldn't be so miserable. Her words struck Yoon-taek deeply and made him think about Hwarang's situation. Without saying much, they continued watching, and eventually both fell asleep. Sunlight came through the window, filling the room with a warm glow. Hwarang woke up and saw Yoon-taek sleeping, leaning against the railing. She looked at him for a while, then noticed the sunlight shining directly on his face. Gently, she raised her hand to block the light. At that moment, Yoon-taek moved slightly and instinctively held her hand. Their eyes met for a second. Embarrassed, Hwarang quickly pulled her hand back. Next day, during the broadcasting club meeting, Yoon-taek accidentally revealed his injured leg. Classmates immediately noticed and began guessing why they had spent the weekend together. After the meeting, So-hyun, who didn't believe the rumors, stopped Hwarang and asked directly, "What really happened? And was that the reason behind your past fight too?" But Hwarang stayed silent. Later, while organizing documents, So-hyun found an email. Out of curiosity, she opened the attached video and saw Jae-in, a member of the broadcasting club, purposely throwing Hwarang's USB drive on the floor. So-hyun remembered how, on the school festival day, Yoon-taek had scolded Hwarang for the missing drive. She also recalled that Jae-in had secretly checked security footage some time ago. Just as So-hyun began piecing everything together, Jae-in walked into the room. So-hyun was about to confront her when Hwarang entered, smiling and laughing with Jae-in as if nothing had happened. So-hyun couldn't believe how two-faced Jae-in was. A few days later, the school organized an outdoor recording activity. So-hyun saw Jae-in taking group photos with some classmates. She quickly stepped in and offered to take the picture. While adjusting the camera, she intentionally pressed the wrong button, making Jae-in impatiently say her phone's unlock password. When Jae-in walked away for a moment, So-hyun took the chance and grabbed the phone. Hiding in a quiet corner, she unlocked it and opened the gallery. Her heart sank. There were countless photos of Hwarang being bullied, including the same ones leaked during the festival. It was now clear Jae-in was the anonymous whistleblower who had submitted the story to the radio club and exposed Hwarang on the celebration night. When Jae-in realized her phone was missing, she panicked. Once she found it, she saw all the incriminating photos deleted. Just then, a message popped up, So-hyun asking her to meet. Furious, Jae-in confronted her. Why are you interfering in my business? Without hesitation, So-hyun revealed everything she knew and said, in middle school, you and Hwarang were in the same class. Hwarang had always been ignored by everyone. This ignorance made her angry, and she started thinking about revenge. But it was also made clear that in reality, Hwarang was the victim of bullying, not the one who bullied others. She had suffered a lot, and someone had seen it with their own eyes and even taken pictures of those moments. People falsely accused Hwarang of being a bully, but she never accepted it. Now So-hyun finally understood why Hwarang always kept distance from her. Hwarang didn't want anyone, especially a close friend, to see her weak side. So-hyun remembered that she had once seen unpleasant messages on Hwarang's phone, but didn't realize what she was going through. Now that the truth came out, she felt guilty and emotional. The next day, when she met Hwarang, she acted like nothing had happened. She wanted to tell her everything but stop, knowing Hwarang's pride wouldn't let her handle it. In the end, So-hyun and Jae-in agreed to keep the truth a secret. So-hyun warned Jae-in to never hurt Hwarang again. Later, Hwarang's face turned dark as if she had seen something shocking, and she quickly left. As she was about to go, Yoon-taek called her and stopped her for a while. A little later, So-hyun saw Jae-in post something online that made her furious. She kept calling Jae-in, but she didn't answer. Meanwhile, Hwarang confronted Jae-in directly and exposed her action. Hwarang already had doubts about Jae-in, but instead of being scared, Jae-in mocked her situation. She even mentioned that So-hyun also knew the truth. Just then, So-hyun arrived. Hwarang asked why she was there. So-hyun quickly explained that she had recently found out the truth and was genuinely worried about her. But Hwarang, whose pride was already hurt, refused to listen. She turned and walked away. So-hyun ran after her and said that after knowing the truth, she felt guilty and miserable all night. But she pretended not to know anything because she knew Hwarang didn't want anyone to acknowledge it. Hwarang just said she should keep pretending and that she didn't need her sympathy. Those words hurt So-hyun deeply. The next morning, So-hyun went to Jae-in's classroom, but she wasn't there. She texted her asking where she was, and Jae-in replied that she was in the broadcasting club and was about to reveal something. Reading the message, Hwarang immediately ran to the broadcasting room. She thought Jae-in had told everything to Yoon-taek, so as soon as she entered, she angrily scolded her. But Jae-in acted innocent, trying to make Yoon-taek misunderstand the situation. Seeing things getting worse, Yoon-taek finally stepped in and explained that they were only talking about work. Then he scolded Hwarang for disappearing all weekend and told Jae-in to leave. Later, Yoon-taek asked Hwarang why she was avoiding everyone, but she refused to answer and left quickly. She went straight to Jae-in, pulled her into an empty classroom, and asked what she was really trying to do. Jae-in finally revealed the truth. She started all this because Hwarang had ignored her once. Long ago, Jae-in had tried to greet Hwarang at school, but Hwarang ignored her in front of classmates. From that day, Jae-in began to resent her and wanted Hwarang to feel the same pain of being left out. She made Hwarang leave the broadcasting club and stay away from her friends so she could feel isolated. Jae-in even threatened her, saying she had a video and would make it public if Hwarang didn't listen to her. Meanwhile, Hwarang's friends were worried because she was unreachable. So-hyun told Yoon-taek that Hwarang was missing, but he stayed calm, saying he would wait for her to tell the truth herself. Around that time, Hwarang was hiding somewhere, looking at her friends' group chat messages. She wanted to reply, but Jae-in's threats forced her to stay away from everyone. In the broadcasting club meeting, Yoon-taek noticed her empty seat and felt uneasy. Jae-in casually asked about Hwarang's work, but Yoon-taek calmly said he had given her a new task and she had no plan to leave the club. This clearly upset Jae-in. Then one classmate suddenly said that Hwarang had left the chat group. Jae-in, who was waiting for her, got surprised seeing that. Around the same time, Yoon-taek received a message from Hwarang. As soon as he read it, he got up and went to find her. On the way, Jae-in stopped him and said Hwarang only joined the club to find out who was submitting certain stories. Then she confessed that she herself had written both of them. Jae-in claimed that Hwarang had bullied her in the past and that she had lived in her shadow ever since. Seeing Hwarang doing well made her jealous, so she wrote those stories out of resentment. Hearing all this, Yoon-taek remembered the past. Hwarang had often asked about the broadcasting club's account, which made Jae-in start doubting her. Meanwhile, Hwarang returned to the classroom and started packing her things. Just as she was about to leave, So-hyun came to meet Hwarang and gave her a piece of bread. But Hwarang didn't want to accept any kindness. She pulled her hand back and looked frustrated. In the end, So-hyun asked if the rumor was true. Without hesitation, Hwarang admitted that she was the one who did the bullying. She said nothing more and left the classroom. That night, Hwarang got a message from Yoon-taek saying he was waiting for her downstairs. Without thinking, she quickly ran down. When they stood face to face, Yoon-taek said he had always been waiting for Hwarang to tell the truth. He also confessed that he was scared the online rumors might be true. Hearing this, Hwarang felt a sharp pain inside. Coldly, she told him to stop waiting, saying that being called a bully was easier than being called a victim. Disappointed, Yoon-taek said he regretted loving her and told her she could leave the broadcasting club. Hwarang watched him walk away and couldn't stop her tears. She was deeply hurt. The next morning, Hwarang told her mother she wanted to quit school. Her mom had already heard some rumors from the school staff, but instead of blaming her, she encouraged her to face her problems and not give up. Meanwhile, the manipulative girl, Jae-in, kept acting innocent in front of classmates, pretending to be the one who was bullied so everyone would feel sorry for her. Yoon-taek, who had just argued with Hwarang, looked upset. A friend comforted him, saying, "In love, you shouldn't always give everything. The most painful thing is not being able to see the person you like." Then Yoon-taek got a message from his mother asking to meet. His parents had separated when he was young, and he had lived with his father. His mother had promised to visit often but never did. At first, he didn't want to meet her, but finally, after many years, he agreed. When they met, they had a calm meal together. Afterward, Yoon-taek politely said goodbye, thinking it was all over. But as he was leaving, his mother called his name from behind. She didn't want to lose this chance again and confessed that she regretted not having the courage to face him earlier. Yoon-taek, who had lived with his father, now realized that his mother had repeated the same mistake she made with her lover, leaving silently without saying anything. At that moment, he remembered something Hwarang had once told him. Back then, he didn't understand, but now he finally knew what pain Hwarang was hiding and what fear stopped her from telling the truth. As the college entrance exams got closer, Hwarang still hadn't returned to school. Rumors spread that she was planning to drop out. The girl who used to bother her kept spreading lies again. But suddenly, So-hyun appeared and shut her down, leaving the manipulative girl embarrassed. At the same time, Yoon-taek stood in the broadcasting room and announced a live stream. Everyone was curious about who would host it. Yoon-taek calmly said, "Don't worry, the host will be here soon." Just then, Hwarang appeared. She was ready to reveal the truth about the bullying incident on campus. It turned out that the night before, she had gone to Yoon-taek herself and told him she was the bully. Hearing the truth, Yoon-taek broke down and hugged her tightly. Then Hwarang told him everything that had happened. Yoon-taek promised to handle the rest and planned a live broadcast to tell the whole school the truth. When So-hyun turned on the classroom screen, everyone, especially the manipulative girl, was shocked. Hwarang appeared on screen and confessed that she was actually the victim of bullying. 2 years ago, on her birthday, her friends invited her to celebrate karaoke, but ended up humiliating her. She never spoke up because she was afraid people would see her differently. Later, when false rumors spread that she was the bully, she didn't defend herself because she thought being a victim was more shameful than being an offender. But now she had realized that the people who cared about her only wanted to know the truth. So she decided to stop running away and speak out, not just for herself, but for those who always cared for her. At the same time, So-hyun confronted the manipulative girl and told her to stop. The girl tried to make excuses, but So-hyun showed a video proving she was the one bullying Hwarang. After seeing the video, the manipulative girl lost her confidence. So-hyun showed the video to everyone, and when the classmates saw it, they looked at the girl with judgment. She finally confessed everything but angrily shouted, "You all gossiped about Hwarang too." The classmates got angry at her words. Meanwhile, Hwarang announced that even though she had been scared of what people might think, she didn't want to run anymore because now she had people who truly cared for her. A rare smile appeared on her face as she walked out of the broadcasting room, and Yoon-taek hugged her warmly. Soon after, So-hyun also came to the broadcasting club and gave Hwarang a big hug. Everyone was happy for her, proud that she finally spoke her truth. The manipulative girl was now seen as the real troublemaker, and Yoon-taek told her to pack her things and leave the club. After everything, Hwarang and Yoon-taek went on their first official date. They ate together, took pictures, and enjoyed their time. For the first time, the usually cold and distant Hwarang opened her heart and expressed her feelings to Yoontae. After all their struggle, their beautiful love story finally began. Later, So-hyun met Hwarang again, bringing her favorite food. Just like old times, they sat at their usual spot, ate, talked, and became best friends again. And with that happy ending, the drama came to an end.